Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a Tuesday special extravaganza of For the Fan Football. As always, I am Will, and we got Jake, Dom, and Colton here. Gentlemen, hello.
What's up?
Super Wild Card
What's up,
weekend.
gents? What's up? Oh god, this is awful.
He lost his fingers.
Super
Lost his fingers.
This is great.
I was on I don't know. I got these Twitter videos of people just like dying and like losing like fingers and all that stuff. This guy was on a go-kart and this go-kart like ran over him and he lost his entire index finger. I'm like, what instigates you to like just posting that online?
For awareness.
For the clout. Come on now.
Don't.
People love seeing people get hurt.
That's a fact.
But yeah, Super Wildcard weekend became a Super Wildcard blowout because I mean every game was just lopsided from the get-go and just couldn't recover from there.
Except for one.
Great
Great game.
game. It was a great game. It was the return of Stafford and Goff. I mean 2.0 because they already faced one time, but that was back in LA 2 years ago on almost the 3-year anniversary. But yes, gentlemen, are we ready to rumble here? Are we ready to go in? Head coaching news, more stories about from our childhood make us all feel old as shit. I know that's going to be on the way.
I got all about that. It's my idea. We'll get prepared.
Christ, I've been prepared for like 10 years now. And as they're trying to get ready, here's a 22-second intro and of For the Fan.
You are listening to For the Fan.
Super Wildcard weekend came and went, and now we're already on to the divisional round of the playoffs. As always, follow us down below, YouTube For the Fan Network, TikTok. I mean, TikTok is blowing the F up. Follow it, For the Fan Network, okay? Follow it, Twitter and or X, For the Fan Football _ and Instagram, For the Fan Football. Where if you follow us on Instagram, you'll find dumber memes that don't succeed on TikTok, but they just do numbers on Instagram. Who knew that would happen? Not me.
Well, when you're trash, you're trash.
Hey, just like the Pennsylvania football teams.
Yep. See, I wanted to make a joke when we both made the
That's
playoffs,
true.
like when the Steelers, snuck their way in. It's like it's gonna be fun when we both have 0 wins for the state of Pennsylvania in a week.
Yeah, both dog water. I was honestly more shocked with the Eagles' performance than the Steelers. I kind of expected it from the Steelers, but I appreciate the fight. I do appreciate the lads. 21 down, still putting up a fight even though they are pretty trash. But yes, I appreciate the effort from the lads.
The state of Pennsylvania right now.
Yo, bro, we got you had it. You had it. If it just was a state of Pennsylvania, just blowing up at the end.
I think it's too perfect to just change it to the state of Pennsylvania, but I mean,
The Commonwealth.
By the way, before we get fully engulfed here, I'm seeing the Raiders stuff pop up on my social media and like the NFL Today and all that. Bro, how are they interviewing other people? I do not understand why it's this difficult.
Well, they have to
hire Antonio Pierce. I don't understand how it's difficult.
They can't just hire him, period, outright. They have to go through the process and make the rounds of interviews no matter what if they want to hire him. I don't know why, because he's obviously he fulfills the what do we call that? Not the Rooney Rule, kind of.
Rooney Rule.
But the Rooney Rule also requires them to still do a hiring process with interviews of other.
Yes, they have to do in-person interviews too. Unlike the Patriots, who hired Gerard Mayo not even 24 hours after Belichick's
well, that's
mutual parting of ways. It was written into Mayo's contract that he be the heir to the throne.
Which you can only do. So the way that works for the NFL, because I've learned this obviously in last week, is the way that works is if you write that into a contract for a coach or whatever, you can only do it one per team. Like you can't just do that for all your coaches and be like, oh, we're good, hire him right in. You can't. It's got to be like this rule that they have that we never hear of because it never happens. And that amount of coaching stability doesn't happen where you have a long process of that.
You just interview Antonio Pierce, and doesn't that fall into the category of the Rooney Rule?
You have to have so many external
You have
candidates.
to have what, 2 Rooney Rule candidates, and I'm
That's
pretty
such a
sure they both
stupid-
have to be in person.
That
So
sucks.
they-
That's Leslie Frazier going.
So they interviewed
Yeah.
Leslie Frazier. You're
Like,
gonna
how do
interview Pierce.
He's got to know, right? Like, he's got to know that this is getting handed to Antonio Pierce. Otherwise, that you want to cue it up for me. That locker room is going to go kaput there in Vegas if they kaboom. You know, it's not going to be pleasant if they do not hire Antonio Pierce. I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, the rule is just wild to me because it's. I think it does more bad than it does good now.
I understand the point of it. Like, this is just one of those bad points of it. Like, like, okay, cool. I get what the point of it is. You are going to hire an African-American coach. He's getting hired. Like, if they don't, then oh, goodness me. Yeah, I hope they hire the worst candidate possible because it's just only fitting for the Raiders then.
I always felt bad for Romeo Cornell because he always was the guy that got interviewed by everybody solely to satisfy the rule. And like, how awful is that feeling?
It's got to be a shit feeling.
Hugh Jackson, Marvin, what's his face from the Bengals after he left Cincinnati?
Lewis.
Marvin
Well, it's
Lewis.
Eric Bieniemy now. It's kind of turned into the Eric Bieniemy thing the last few seasons.
No, because someone will hire him.
Yeah, someone actually might. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, man. He's probably not getting hired this year.
No, it is weird because then now you're just making these individuals like the. It's weird. I don't know if this is the wrong thing. I might be saying the wrong thing. Like the token interview dude it's.
No,
That's what I'm saying. More recently, it's Eric Bieniemy.
It's so weird that the NFL forces this because now the NFL is forcing that. Like that's the bad portion of it. And the Anthony Pierce thing is weird because one, he's an interim, so he's like part of the he's kind of primed up to be head coach. He literally is the head coach for the last 2 months, and then it's I don't know. I think it's a bad process.
I'm sorry to go there. I know we just started the show, but I just find it really stupid. And
Kinda
we're probably going to start off with coaching stuff anyway before we go into the wild card weekend. But I don't get it.
So by the time our show ended last week, there were 7 head coaching openings. Now there's 6. There's question marks next to Dallas. I think Sirianni would be safe, obviously, but I still consider Dallas could be a who knows what's going to happen in Jerry world. Really great regular seasons. You get shit on in the playoffs.
This kid, I want.
It's just Dallas. Meanwhile, one of the best years to probably hire a candidate. Jets say, you know what, Robert Saleh safe. Just keep everyone float. The ship is slowly sinking. Just nail in a couple other boards underneath the ship there. But I mean, Jim Harbaugh interviewed in person for the Chargers head coaching position.
So we're sharing notes over here.
We're sharing notes. I saw him.
Do your thing.
Where's the Steelers stuff?
Oh, where's my Steelers gear? Hardy har, buddy. I would have my Steelers gear on. A lot of it's in the wash from when I was down in Orlando last week, to be honest. My Steelers warm gear. But yeah, hey, man. Still wrapping my bird, bro. So you could sit your giant ass down back over there. All right? Relax. And Al said, yes, I'm still down here in sunny Orlando, Florida, even though I think it's actually raining down there now. But yes, I'm here. I'm here. It's sunny Orlando. Oh, God.
So the Chargers interviewed a couple candidates for their head coaching opening.
The Chargers interviewed like 14 people in the last week, bro, for GM.
Well, so did everyone. So did the Falcons. I mean, we'll get to them. But yes, the Seahawks put in a bunch of.
The Chargers have spammed my feed with we interviewed this guy, It's like 2 a day so far. Just the Chargers nonstop, just rolling through these interviews like it's nothing, bro.
Are they just like making it like known like we're doing the process because we want to hire Harbaugh?
Yeah, maybe there's also like this competition of it this year. Because I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Will, especially, like, have you guys noticed that years previous where the teams themselves
they have to report that. They can't just let it be like, oh, hey, we interview a guy, we're just gonna sweep it on the rug. Like they have to be, fully vocal about it.
Yeah, but you could put it to like a reporter. Your
Yeah,
team.
no, like the team has to announce it. Like that is like the rule. Like the team has to come out and be like, "Hey, we interview blah blah blah." For
again, it doesn't have to be everyone.
Well, hey, that's the rule. That's the rule.
I'm
not debating the rule here.
I just don't remember it being like that, where it's just
I
like
don't.
I see this roll of like on my feed constantly of interview. Like the Falcons interviewed Bill Belichick, and then like I feel like no one knew about it, and then boom, Falcons post it from themselves, and it's like, oh,
No. The Falcons didn't interview Belichick. Belichick interviewed the Falcons. Let's get that straight, okay? He was not getting interviewed, okay?
for
What
3
are your references? Holds up both hands of rings.
For
Here's
free?
all 9 rings, all the way back to the 80s.
That was a hefty interview.
Yes, and what you got, like Dan Quinn, you have a lot of great people out there that are just interviewing for all these jobs, including both lines coordinators who've are going to be in the running for the Panthers job. You got Washington as well there. I don't know. I feel like there is going to be I think Dallas would open up. I personally have to believe that because Jerry, he's kind of like getting up there in age, obviously.
I think Dallas only opens up if it's Bill Belichick. And I don't know if Bill's going to want to deal with a nutcase in Jerry Jones, to be honest with you.
He apparently wants to take over a underperforming team with a good roster. So I think the Jets would be the perfect fit. But obviously the Chargers would be there. The Falcons would be there. The Falcons would be a perfect job. All he needs is, Kirk Cousins, and boom, they're a playoff roster.
Yeah. Where do they pick?
Specifically,
Where's Atlanta drafting again?
8th
8th?
for like the 10th year in a row.
They're in quarterback range. That gets them a quarterback. I mean, it's not they're picking.
What they got Drake. They got Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson. I mean, hey, why not just complete the carousel of offensive weapons there? Just pick a quarterback at 8.
Well, I mean, if he's the head coach, I've seen the stuff and the talk at the radio station. He loves New York. Like the only times Belichick has gotten emotional has been for the Giants, something with the Giants, and I forget the other part. What he got emotional. Like the only time he's like, you've ever seen him like cry, and like that was a talk of why aren't the Giants opening? I'm like, what are we doing? He's 72 years old, whatever he is, 76. I forget how old he is. 72, I think is the age. 76 is kind of wild.
1 year younger than Steven.
71.
71.
I think the start of the season is going to be 72, though, right?
Yeah,
Probably.
So, and he wants to get the record. He ain't getting the record in New York. He has to go to a good roster. So when you think of that, that means Dallas and the Chargers for me. And yes, if they were somehow in Atlanta able to get a Kirk Cousins, Atlanta, which is so crazy, dude. Imagine the Hall of Fame coach going to Atlanta, like one of the greatest coaches ever.
Arthur Blank wants to win. And ever since Arthur Blank took over as the Falcons coach, Falcons owner, like forever ago, he's only hired first-time head coaches. He's never hired a guy with actual head coaching experience. I mean, he's 81 years old. Why not just say, screw it. We're going to go. We're going to do it. We're just going to go out, get Belichick. All you need is a quarterback because what? Russ will be available. I mean, Russ hasn't really showed he was that bad this year. Kirk Cousins coming off of the Achilles. I don't know. You could probably go after like Gardner Minshew or, something like that if you want to really go after, another quarterback. I don't even know if Heineke's going to be on the roster next year. And we know Desmond Ridder is not going to be touching that starting role anytime soon.
Not if Belichick's there.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Bailey Zappi, you are the future of the Atlanta Falcons.
Was the last show, again, I wasn't here. Did you guys talk about Vrabel on that show, right?
Yep.
Hardcore. Oh,
yep.
Did that happen while we were? No.
The Saban retiring happened.
The Vrabel move is one of the craziest things for me. That's so wild to me.
All because the owner did not like that he was so thankful for New England and just how he just was like responding to his Hall of Fame induction for the Patriots.
The owner and the GM.
No, just the owners come out and said it. The GM has not said it. She said that in like a
like
video
so many reports about the GM though, and the GM made the AJ Brown move, and Vrabel hated that move.
No, that's not even the right. That's not even the same guy. Rand Carthon is. That's not even the same guy. They fired
I saw that the GM and Vrabel got along. They were kind of like
he liked Vrabel. He was on. He said he was surprised by the move too. So it was.
It's always bad when the owner steps in and should not step their toes on things. He's a good coach. I thought he's actually underperformed with the roster they've had. I know the AFC South isn't good, but I thought he's he's overperformed with the roster they've had. Like Tannehill is garbage, and you did that with him, like it's impressive what they did there in Tennessee.
I mean, I think he's
I think
also,
he's. I think
he might be glad that he's out of there because Derrick Henry's,
Probably.
he's not under contract anymore. You got D-Hop, who, he's probably just going to go find a contender somewhere. Tannehill is kind of done. You have question marks with Levis and Willis there. Their defense is like not even remotely close to what they had 2 years ago and 3 years ago.
He got to get out of jail free card. Honestly, he should be
Yeah.
thanking his lucky stars for what happened with him because he's going to end up. He's easily probably the top 2 candidate. You want to go 3 if Harbaugh's actually in. Like I've seen so much stuff with Harbaugh. I'll believe when I see it with Harbaugh. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I think it's the Chargers' job or honestly nothing for him. I really
Or Vrabel or
Harbaugh? No for Harbaugh. I'm saying
Chargers
or it's nothing for him, man. I just really do like. He's gonna, I think, sit back and wait for that job that like is a surprise and has a legit quarterback, which it is the Chargers. As much as we haven't seen Herbert do much, so for me, if you want to put Harbaugh in there, sure, then he's a top 3 candidate. It's Belichick, Vrabel, and Harbaugh are the top 3 guys because you know what you're getting from those 3. You know, like Ben Johnson, I think could be we'll see. Like I don't know, man. Like
I think Ben Johnson would probably go to the Commanders. I think the Panthers' job is honestly dead last, and I don't think they're going to get anyone that would really want that job. That is just an atrocious,
and the owner, man, that's an awful job.
But if you think
have no draft capital,
I think Vrabel will be the next coach. Vrabel will be the next coach of the Seattle Seahawks. I think you can lock that in.
I don't know about after this past Cowboys game, man. That ain't looking pretty at all. That defense.
Well, I mean, for the Cowboys?
Yeah, isn't that still Dan Quinn or no?
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying Vrabel. Vrabel goes up to there, and then if McCarthy gets fired, they could just slide up Dan Quinn.
Already done that. Dan Quinn is.
That was
like,
the move.
If Pete Carroll's getting shipped upstairs, he wants to bring in Dan Quinn as like, if you're gonna make me go upstairs and get off the sideline, I'm picking the coach.
And Dan Quinn's been the reported one, like no brainer. That's what's happening. We're here, kind of thing. But I'm questioning that after that Cowboys game because how are you just going to be like excited about getting that guy in there after that's the last thing he put out as a product in the NFL? I mean, that was certainly not pretty.
Well, I mean, he helped overhaul that entire
He
defense
did.
after that 2020 season where they were letting up like 600 yards a game. Like
It was good defense this year. It was a good defense this year. I'm not even saying that's a bad thing, but man, I don't know.
I'm telling you, man, we saw it the few years ago, like 4 years ago, when that Chiefs-Bills game, number 1 defense in Buffalo, gives up that many yards and gives up the field goal in 13 seconds, whatever it was. Dude, it's an offensive league, man. Like that's why, like, if I'm a team, like if I'm an owner, I'm not saying you can't be a good coach. Like Dan Quinn, I think he's a great coach. Look what he's done in Dallas. They love him there. It's an offensive league, man. Like it really is. Like it's kind of, you're seeing like Philly. Philly's got such a good roster. You lose a great coordinator, offensive-minded guy, and where's it go? They have the plummet from Philly is absolutely insane. Like it's an offensive league. It's what it is. They make it that, and where it's going, and it's never going to go back to defense because eventually you'll get a stop. Just hire a really good defensive coordinator. Look at Kansas City. Like I know they've had some talent over the years in Kansas City with the Super Bowl wins, like some key players, but like if you look at it, their defense really is not that good. They have Spagnuolo says, you know what? F it. All out blitz. We're going to get one stop here, and we're giving the quarterback to the football to the best quarterback in football, and he's going to go get us the lead here and go win us the game. And he does. Except for the one Super Bowl, the O-line was destroyed against the Buccaneers. That's kind of what it's been for Kansas City. Like they had 2 good players, 3 good players max on their defense, and the rest of them are guys you couldn't name, and they got stops here and there because they have a good coordinator that says, you know what? I know what we got. I'm going to send the house every once in a while, throw a team off, and I'm getting there and complete pass. I'm getting the ball to my quarter. Like it's an offensive league. It's what it is. So,
as what Chris Rose said on NFL Network after the Chiefs game, can the Chiefs really ride the D to the Super Bowl?
That's the greatest thing I've seen.
And MJD just
his face that was so funny, bro.
One of the greatest things I've seen on television.
That was so funny.
Chris Rose knew what he was doing too.
He said, "Oh, MJD, I got you. Hold on, let me just."
And then he immediately
defense. Oh, okay. This Colton's gone rogue there.
Oh, it's
I'm
so
trying. I don't know if it's
The
the
Beyond
lags.
section at Bed Bath
I don't
and
know if the
Beyond.
lags from the background, like it's just so bad. Like I hate that it's all right behind me.
He was done with his Cliff Kingsbury impression.
Yeah, I don't see it now. I think you're good.
Yeah,
should
after
have-
moving his
I should
hands
have my
around, he was
foot up the
losing
whole
all his
time.
fingers.
I should have had my foot up the whole time.
You know what? So, like what you're saying, the defensive coordinator thing, and this is an offensive league too. The Chargers go from defensive guy, I don't even the guru, innovator, whatever the heck, Brandon Staley, and it just seems like they're kind of headed in the defensive head coach direction again. And I just don't know how you do it 2 times in a row, because they're not the only team that's kind of doing that either. But like, I just don't know how you go defensive minded guy didn't work out. Let's do it again. I just in an offensive league where Herbert and I just don't know how you go for that again. I don't know how you have to do that like a second time now in a row. And I don't even like half their candidate. It's just a weird. And the Panthers candidates have been not one person that they've interviewed so far. I've been like, oh, that might do
It's
something.
what no one wants. You don't have a
Isn't it?
first round pick.
Yeah.
Like you don't have anything, and the roster's not even good.
Vrabel's like the only one that could save that place right now.
Yeah.
I
I'm
wouldn't
not
even want
taking
to
that. Like I said, he's
place.
a top. He's
He's
a
not
top
taking-
3 candidate. I am not taking that. That's going to be like that'd be the job that Eric Bieniemy gets. Like Eric Bieniemy's probably deserved the job for a little bit, and that's the dumpster fire he gets. And the thing is, it'd be a 1-year deal, and he'd get shafted after. Oh, you're just not a good coach, even though it's an epic failure. You have no receivers. You have a young quarterback that, again, is next year's going to be playing like a rookie because he didn't make any progress because they're just that bad. Like, that is such a shit job. Oh, my God. You're going to have that you have to, like, sign that contract knowing, like, yeah, I'm getting 5 years to work with this shit because this is not a quick fix at all.
Yeah, because Colton, we talked about in the last episode when you were gone, like the one person, Vrabel's the only one that could actually make a difference because he'd be the guy to go into when Tepper comes to him on those Mondays that he's reported to do. He'd tell him to go screw and go back to his office.
Yeah.
Go drink your coffee in your office. I got this. Leave me alone.
Tepper should have stayed out of that, and I think him getting his hands all involved in that ended up biting him in the ass. And like the thing is, that investment is so bad now. Like, cool if you did, because I mean, you watch all the. I don't want to go so deep in this because the Panthers blow. We have a bunch of other shit to talk about, but my God, all the stuff pre-draft and all the like little workouts with the quarterbacks. It sure as hell seemed like the Panthers were going with C.J. Stroud. You watch Josh McCown and Frank Wright talking with C.J. Stroud. It's like, we'll see you. Like, dude, sure shit looked like they're drafting him. I guarantee Tepper knocked them doors and said, yo, boys, Bama kid. I want Bryce Young. And that set the franchise back. They are so effed. Oh, God.
Wow, dude. So I'm just doing it right now because I thought I knew something and I'm looking it up and I'm not really finding it at the moment. But if you just look up David Tepper and like controversy on Google, bro, I mean, Panthers fans, and these are legitimate articles, not like, just like
The Sportster.
Yeah. These are legitimate articles by actual sources. And Panthers fans starting a petition to force David Tepper out. Panthers owner David Tepper is stealing Charlotte's sports joy, like Charlotte, Carolina, because I think he also owns their soccer team too.
Yeah, doing Charlotte.
And I know he's had a bunch of controversy there and done some controversial things there as well. So like, I don't know, man. I feel like he's just a toxic situation. And obviously, like you said, it's the least appealing job. And if you're a coach like Eric Bieniemy, right, and you're waiting for this chance, but you're kind of like really up there as far as contenders go for head coach soon in your career, you could go there and then just your career's just blown if it's a bad, like you could ruin your chances at another future job if you go there and it works out and it doesn't work out. And it's such a gamble to do that in that situation. So like it really is just it's a poor situation, man. So and news also, head coach news, not head coach, but just coach, because the Dennis Allen firings and stuff, apparently rumblings of Jay Gruden apparently to the Saints as a coordinator?
Jay Gruden or John Gruden?
John.
No, Jay.
Oh, forget about it. Oh no, the Saints are
I thought it was John.
Which one was forced out of the league?
John.
John. Sorry, you're right.
I
John.
was going to say if it was Jay Gruden, forget about it. This coaching staff's getting fired after OTAs. That's how bad it would be if they had Jay Gruden in there.
Jay Gruden. Sorry, Jay Gruden coming back.
Jay Gruden going after RG3 today was hilarious, though.
John Gruden.
No, Jay.
Jay Gruden.
Oh, so it is John. It's. Oh my gosh, this is the worst.
John Gruden is the Raiders coach. You know his favorite play, Spider Y to banana. Okay, Jay Gruden is an idiot. Okay, that forced Kirk Cousins out of Washington.
Yeah.
Okay, there's two totally different things.
Yeah.
John Gruden, really good coach, forced out. Jay Gruden, drunk, that was forced out.
I'm talking about John
Because it
Gruden.
was bad.
I'm
because it
talking
was bad.
about former Raiders John Gruden.
John Gruden.
Yeah, that's who. To
Not Jay Gruden. Okay, listen. That Saints team. That's the Saints coaching staff would be fired after free agency. They wouldn't even need to put a practice on the field. They'd just be like, you know what, we're clearing house. We're going to start over again. But let's get off this topic of the Grudens and whatnot. But let's go into this since Dom brought this up last week and it was kind of fun. We could talk about it this time around.
kind of fun.
So, favorite divisional round moments and memories from over the years. There is a plenty, especially during the 2010s. There's been a plenty of good memories. Maybe even the 2000s, the 90s. Maybe YouTube some stuff. Who knows? Dom went first last week, so I'm going to have him go last this time around. But I will start out with Colton if he's ready there.
You ready, Colton? Give him the floor.
I got to solo you here. Hold on. Here we go.
Oh no!
Stop doing this.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh no! All right. So what are we doing? Are we doing divisional round?
Favorite divisional round moments and memories,
Oh,
whatever you have from over
God.
the years. You can have it be
Oh.
so low hanging fruit for Steelers, or you can pick someone else. Like the floor is
I'm gonna
entirely yours.
I'm gonna Houdini someone real quick. I'm gonna pass this baton to Jake. Hold on.
Okay, so Jake. Oh, Jake got the tag in there. This
All
is some WWE tag team turmoil matches going on here.
All right. I mean, I once again have two, but since this week, we're not getting stolen. My funny one, just cuz, is the Dez didn't catch it game because he didn't catch it. The ball moved. That's it. That's the story for that one. I just love the crying. The real one is the absolute thriller on the road to Joe Flacco being absolutely elite. That absolute shootout where he outdid Peyton Manning, won in double overtime with that pass to Jacoby Jones. What a memory. That was just one of the most quintessential games of the 2010s. Like, does not get better.
Yeah, I love that one. That's a great one, genuinely. And we've been seeing that footage in the past week leading up to that Cleveland game. I feel like, they've been showing.
It's just like, remember when Joe Flacco was elite? Oh, wait, he still is.
Yeah, wow.
Not after Saturday. Womp womp.
Yeah, I like that one. That was a good one.
Okay, so
Colton?
Jake's tagging in Colton here. Let's get this up here.
I'm ready. So for me, I was just talking about the game earlier. Chiefs Bills. One of the greatest games I've ever watched, and one of the most wackiest games I've ever watched. For some odd reason, I always thought this game was an AFC title game. How good it was. It's definitely this game for me. It's one of the greatest games of recent memory, and the offensive shootout, fantastic. The fact that you knew Kansas City was going to get the field goal with 13 seconds was absolutely crazy to me. Easily for me, but one of the best divisional round game I've ever seen.
I agree.
No?
I
Right?
agree.
No.
I agree with it.
That was one of the craziest games I've ever watched. Like I always thought that this game was a championship game, and then I was like, I've always talking about the game. I'm like, oh my gosh, divisional game! Holy cow!
No,
Yeah.
they still go play the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I agree. No, I remember that's one of those games, at least for me personally. I remember exactly where I was. I was in Florida at my family's. I remember exactly where I was, the moment it was happening, everything, dude, and how shocked I was and how cool it was watching that and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
that's one of
I
them.
wanted to leave that one alone specifically for somebody else because
Yeah.
that one's getting picked.
I
Yeah,
know, low hanging fruit, and yeah, Allison. I don't know why everyone was silent. I was very confused.
But
Yeah,
like,
we're show and tell.
come on, we clipped these,
yeah, it's okay.
but I can't. I love that Dez didn't catch it because especially when the week before when they absolutely screwed the Lions. So that just like the whole moment of the fact that it went down to a review after were only there because the refs screwed the Lions.
that was against Green Bay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an iconic one. That whole
Also
game.
fitting because again loses to Green Bay, who now have more playoff wins in an AT&T than the Cowboys do.
Will, do you have yours?
I got some. Okay. Man. Because I'm a very sad Jets fan. Let me just get the Jet ones out of the way here. Okay. January 18th, 2010. The Jets head into San Diego. They face the Chargers because, San Diego had a football team. I still recognize that they do have a football team. Darrelle Revis makes one of the greatest interceptions of all time on Vincent Jackson. God bless his soul. I have his jersey behind me. Forever one of my favorite non-Jet players to ever play the game. Off the tush, intercepted, lockdown corner. Sean Green's 52-yard rushing touchdown. Longest rush in Jets history, Jets playoff history in San Diego as well. Can't forget that. Silenced, San Diego, and also Nick Novak, Pro Bowl kicker. Didn't miss a kick for 2 years. Misses 3 kicks that game. Jets advanced the AFC title game. On this day in history, the Jets went into Foxborough and absolutely stunned the New England Patriots, 14-2. The undisputed MVP, Tom Brady, threw a pick six. No, not pick six. He threw an interception for the first attempt in like 340 attempts. David Harris runs down the sideline, and then, of all people, Algie Crumpler tackles him at like the 10-yard line. But yes, the Jets get it done. They, that touchdown pass to Santonio Holmes in the corner, in Brady's corner, of all places, over Kyle Arrington. And how can you forget? Sean Green silences it. He goes to sleep on the ball. And Fat Rex Ryan, I'll take it to the grave, a top 5 head coach of all time when he was fat, is in the end zone there, rumbling in there, celebrating with the team. One of my memories there. And here's my non-Jet one. Let's go into 2012. Okay, we were freshmen in high school. Let's just put that into perspective there. Okay. One of the greatest fourth quarters in playoff history. I'm sorry, Colton, but I think this one takes the cake here. The New Orleans Saints travel to Candlestick Park, where the Niners and the Saints have a clash of the century, in my opinion here.
Oh, that's right.
The fourth quarter here, okay, with 4:11, Darren Sproles just basically runs up the seam for a touchdown. Basically ties the game there with a Casey kick. So 24-23. Alex Smith takes a snap, runs up the sideline, the far sideline, runs into the end zone. Candlesticks losing their shit, essentially. Then Jimmy Graham with a 66-yard touchdown. It goes essentially up the seam there. He avoids, I think, Dante Hittner. Remember him? Flash from the past there. And then obviously catch 3. Vernon Davis over, I believe it was either Roman Harper or Malcolm Jenkins.
I think it was Roman Harper.
Yes. I mean, whoever it was hurt after the play because he was just down the entire time. And then you just have the crowd going bonkers after this play there. And it was the start of the Harbaugh era, which didn't really last very long. So those are mine that I live,
Yeah, that Vernon Davis play I remember very vividly. I don't know why. I don't remember the game.
Kenny Albert.
That.
Man, what's his face? Tony Saragusa was on the sideline. I forgot who the color guy was.
I think I remember that entire 2012 playoffs as a whole.
I should be embarrassed.
Oh, it was 2011, so this was the year the Giants won.
My fandom should be questioned.
Why?
The start of my franchise. The start of the great Pittsburgh Steelers. Embarrassing on my end. Gosh. Embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. I'm outright embarrassed for the fact that I missed this. Again, I wasn't alive.
I only say the Jet ones because the Jet ones do numbers for some reason.
No,
okay, they're as sad as me.
It's embarrassing.
Is it in the past?
The start of the historic Steelers franchise.
Is that a Dolphins light switch behind you? Can I just call that out really quick over your left shoulder there? Is that a Dolphins light switch? No, if you move your left shoulder, there it is. It's a Miami Dolphins light switch. Yeah. Okay, you can.
Yes. I'm in the office at the Rose household. So yes, there's Dolphin stuff. And if I just turn my camera that way, there's another Fins thing for you. There you go. But for me, it's the immaculate reception for the Steelers. Absolutely embarrassing for myself. The start of the winning trajectory in Pittsburgh. Franco Harris, God rest his soul. Immaculate reception. Oh my gosh, the fact that turned in the franchise upside down, winning that game. Yeah, divisional round against the Raiders, rivalry with the Raiders, one of the greatest plays. It is the greatest play in NFL history. The immaculate reception. God, embarrassed for my fandom. My God. Again, I wasn't alive for it, but embarrassing for my fandom that I did not bring up the immaculate reception. So yeah.
Question: did he catch it?
Absolutely, he caught it. Stop it.
Had to be asked.
Stop it. He caught it.
Yeah, I've been avoiding the Eagles ones because I can tell you every single one that's left is an Eagles one.
What?
Oh, all my moments left from here on out are going to
Eagles
be
ones? That's fair.
All right, Dom. Well, the best is last, and probably all of them were taken from Dom. So
It's kind of true.
let's see what the third or fourth one on the chart was.
Yeah, no, my first one was going to be my first one. I mean, when you said it in the beginning of the show, I looked up stuff. Colton might have done that too. And then I saw that Chiefs-Bills one, and I thought to myself the same thing Colton thought. I was like, wow, that was a divisional round game. So I was going to use that. Then Will's game with Vernon Davis was going to use that. Honestly, I had a small one as a backup kind of thing. Maybe I was just going to kind of mention it briefly, but I guess I got to say it a little bit in a little bit more detail, I guess. I want to say it was 2006 Patriots, Broncos. Might have been 2005.
The 2005 playoffs, yeah, in 2006.
Thanks, Will. I love that you just know. I appreciate it. Champ Bailey, interception near the end zone. In the end zone? I don't know. It was
line?
In the goal line. Yeah, goal line right in the corner over there by the pylon. Runs that ball. Hauls that ball 100 yards almost back. Just for Ben Watson. We've all seen the play. Just, I mean, dude flying from the opposite corner of the field, manages to get there, pushes him out. I think Champ Bailey fumbles the ball out. Yeah. I just remember that moment. That moment shows up on my feed on Instagram like once every 6 months, and I watch the whole play every time because it's worth it every time. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I had because the other ones are good. And I don't have that many memories from divisional round for some reason. So,
did you know Ben Watson had to run 134 yards just to get Champ Bailey?
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
And he gets into the entourage of people that were around him just to light up Champ Bailey.
Dude, I mean, he looked like he was on a different level. Dude was just.
And plus, he was in Denver, so that's even like thin air.
He had to recover for so long after that.
I think Champ had to recover too after that. he was out cold. He wasn't like concussed or anything, but he was just like
right
need that oxygen tank.
That was a hell of a play, though, man. Hell of a play. But yeah.
Well, we had 6 games this weekend. So, what's your favorite games and/or moments from Super Wildcard Weekend?
All right, if there's not one answer here, I hope you all like.
Sad Jerry Jones.
Yeah. For me, this is very easy. The only game that was watchable this weekend. So if no one else says this, you all should like have your football fandom taken.
Well, the Ravens didn't play, so how can we cheer on your favorite team?
I hate you. It was definitely the Lions-Rams game. I'm very happy for Detroit, by the way. Like I was going back and forth with my dad on this of booing Stafford. And he was like, oh, they can't. I'm like, hell yeah, they can. He's back next year. They could give him his flowers and everything next year. Hell no. Boo the piss out of him and let him know we do not care what you did. We're all in on Jared Goff and these Detroit Lions.
It's the playoffs. Yes, everything's on
the crap out of him. Best game of the weekend. And if anyone says anything else, you're getting 5 minutes of silence from you. I do not care. It's the best game of the weekend. Everything else was a blowout and shit. I'm telling you right now, anyone says anything stupid, I wish I control. I'd mute every single one of you.
God.
Yeah, no, that game was nuts, and all the celebrities coming out for that. I mean, that game, the energy was immaculate in Detroit. I mean, just everything about it. There was no way they were losing that game. Just not a chance with all that. And it was just so, I mean, it was so, the whole world, if you're a fan of sports, if you're a fan of football, everyone enjoyed that, period. Like, everyone enjoyed that win. Maybe not Bears fans, maybe not Packers fans, but like, everyone enjoyed that game. That was such a great game. Best game of the weekend, like Colton said. The most watchable game easily. Came down to the last few moments of the game. And it was so awesome. Eminem being there and saying what he said prior to the game. I remember Jake just talking about that when we were at the bar watching it and stuff. Yeah, it was so cool, bro. It was just
they were
such a
singing
great time.
"Lose Yourself" in the stadium,
and it was awesome. It was so cool.
So great week for the state of Michigan.
Megatron doing the promo was
great week
so
for the
cool.
state of Michigan. It was a great week for them.
The Megatron demons have been
But
exercised.
the Pistons didn't win this week. How can it be a great week for
The
Michigan?
Pistons are dead to them. They got Michigan and they got the Lions.
Come on, what? They get
They're dead
Wingstop after they have to pay for the
They're dead to
Wingstop to get
No.
free Wingstop.
They're
if
dead
they
to
win.
them. The Pistons are dead to them. The Tigers are dead to them. They got the Wolverines and they got the Detroit Lions.
Well, they got the Red Wings too, a little bit. But
Yeah, a little bit.
They have a lot of history there. They're good.
yeah, Patrick Kane.
Oh well, he got injured, so
Yeah,
I think that night. So
because of the snowstorm.
yeah,
they had to sacrifice something for Detroit sports to win.
Oh, they're sacrificing.
Patrick Kane.
The Pistons are the sacrifice. Trust me, they're sacrificing.
No, but how can you not say one of your favorite moments from the weekend is just seeing the Cowboys fans just flutter and just absolutely just fall apart? Like, come on. Losing to a 7 seed of all, the first 7 seed, might I add, to win in the new playoff format too. Jordan Love becoming yet again, he's the heir to the Aaron Rodgers throne. He's now the Bears owner, Chicago mayor. Now he owns Dallas. Like, come on.
Well, just like the Packers quarterbacks of old.
Come on, like literally, we let them have 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in a row now, and now this only drives up the Jets in 2039 when we trade for Jordan Love.
I hate you that you just said that. My favorite part of that, though, I just saw it before we started doing this show, is that he hit a "here we go" on the final kneel.
Yeah, very faint. Here we go, and then just takes the knee.
That's incredible. Shout out Jordan Love for that.
No, the best part about it was Cowboys fans had their hopes up so high. We're finally make it to at least get to the NFC Championship game because the Eagles are dead already. Like they see their window just parting right there. Their trip right to San Francisco. We're gonna play in that game. The jokes are gonna end, and you get sad Jerry Jones in the box.
Skip Bayless throwing out his jersey or.
Do not bring him up. He's such a fraud. Do not
every
bring
week.
The best part outside of the Jordan Love thing was that Detroit Lions fan grittying around that chick thrown up on the floor.
Yes.
Oh God.
And then the little kids joining him after, and it's just like, oh, whoa.
That's right. That was so bad.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Or did you?
By the way, that's such a wild jersey to buy. A David Montgomery Lions jersey. That's a wild buy.
Colton, did you see them flood into the? Because we see that every week with the stupid.
Every week. I don't understand. I don't understand why they do that.
They run into there because they're standing room, so they want to be the very first people, like on like the barricade wherever the standing room spots are at AT&T Stadium. So I understand you want the best spot available. So you're obviously going to want to get there because I assume standing room is probably the cheapest ticket you can get to a Cowboys game outside of sitting in the 500s or outside the roof essentially.
But and me and Jake both noticed this. I think Will might have too because
you pointed it out to me. I didn't notice it before then.
If you watched this previous one and if you didn't see it, then go back and look at it because it's terrible and hilarious at the same time. You watch one of the first dudes in drop his phone out of his pocket, and then someone steps on it and kicks it, and the dude's like searching around trying to find it. One, he missed his standing room tickets because he was in the front, bro. He was getting there. And two, his phone probably doesn't work. 3, Dallas lost.
If he could find his phone. I mean, I'd be more impressed if he could find it, let alone if it works.
It was
you're gonna have to go back and watch that. That's hilarious.
You're gonna have to, dude. You can see it. It's in like I think it's in like the bottom left-ish. Like they're running down the bottom of the screen and out, and you see him drop his phone. You see it on the ground. You see people run over it, kick it, and trying to search around. bro. It was so.
I
feel bad. I feel bad. One of my closest friends, a Dallas fan, but it's incredible. Like I'm sitting there, like the one host I was producing for this weekend, he picked the Packers. I'm sitting there, like, no way, dude. Like, I don't trust Jordan Love. But I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, Dallas getting 7 points and everyone riding Dallas is very concerning. I'm like, there's a catch here. There's a catch. This is a little too fishy for me, and it was indeed fishy, and they're frauds. The usual Dallas Cowboys showed up again.
Yeah. I mean, what about one of my favorite moments too was all the photos from Arrowhead, where all the beers just frozen solid. Nothing like a nice beer slushy.
He could have been right here and had that happen.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have had a beer slushy essentially.
Which just happened live on this program.
When the beer exploded between me and Jake, that was something.
Because somebody threw in a freezer.
Yeah, that was a bad.
Yeah.
Was that a prediction to Arrowhead?
Did
we call the future?
Did we call that? Did we Simpson it?
It was that. That was like week 11.
Not even. It was like 7.
Yeah, you might be right, actually. Yeah, no. And Andy Reid's beard, and he had icicles coming down his hat and shit. That was fantastic. That was so great.
And all the crazy fans with the shirt off. I mean, what, 24 people? Hypothermia,
15
frostbite exposure.
Yeah, 15 people went to the hospital with hypothermia.
I saw a video of this guy going out in a wheelchair from that game, and he was just covered in vomit. I mean, I don't know how much booze you need to just be covered in it. And it's frozen to you. Then they gotta like peel it off of you to like.
You gotta. God, I hate that they show the people on TV.
The experience is cool, but at some point you kind of want to remember the experience.
No, that is.
You don't want to remember the ambulance ride and then the hospital bill that follows suit.
People there showing shirtless. Like I'm just sitting there shaking my head. I'm watching them. I'm like, this guy's a moron. Like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get on TV, but like I might end up like dying and like my skin's being like screwed for life over this. Like, what are you doing?
That's true. Or the Bills. Hey man, I give it up to the whole Bills thing. Them shoveling snow from like
Saturday night to like
24 hours.
Those people are absolute morons.
Seeing videos at 3 a.m. of them in the stadium shoveling snow is wild.
They should be ashamed of themselves for $20. Are you effing kidding me?
An hour, and then you get the food and you get the
no, bro. You can get more than
$20
shoveling old granny's driveway. Hell no.
But then
and
at
guess
that
what?
point,
For a lot
there
less
for
snow. No. That is
no,
awful.
and then at that point, you're going to see all the snow. People are going to sell their tickets. Boom, you work like 4 hours, then you get
free
tickets.
Tickets.
Yeah,
don't even have to pay for parking. Your car's already in the parking lot. Just throw the shovel out and just sit in your seat.
Hell no, that's way too much snow. No.
Bro, and then there's Colton. You've seen it. The Steelers fans, like when they're first
they deserve the win for that.
Troughing through the pile of snow,
plowing through the snow down the aisle.
They deserve it. By the way, damn governor switching that game won the Bills that game. The governor switching that won them the game. I'll swear up and down on that. Damn governor.
That was a funny incident. I feel like we have not seen something like that. Snow flying everywhere for every touchdown and stuff.
That was wild.
Yo, by the way, F the Bills fans for throwing snowballs at the Steelers throughout the game. F them. By the way, the NFL not stepping in for that shit, embarrassing. Throwing the snowball at George Pickens on that touchdown throw, embarrassing. Those Bills fans can shove it.
So they're going to hear about it for the next 60, 70 years, like snowballs at Santa Claus?
You know what? It's not even getting talked about enough. That's what kind of irritates me.
It's not.
They were literally throwing it at
when
the
the Dolphins. When the
they were
Dolphins
throwing
and
it at the
Bills
Steelers bench. I think it was towards the end of the game, and Pickens and Deontay looking up as they're throwing snowballs. How is there no security there? It's yo, bro, you're tossing people.
I saw in the Jumbotron, they said if you throw snowballs, your tickets are revoked. You'll be police escorted, arrested.
Yeah, okay. It definitely didn't happen.
Oh, no.
Oh, it didn't. After that, the first touchdown Buffalo had, they all that's when you all saw the snow flying up in the air. Dude, I don't understand how they can throw it onto the field. Bro, throwing it live as the play's happening so Pickens does not catch it and throw a snowball at that. Bro, what? How's it not a flag? Dude, it's very easy. You throw a flag. You throw a flag instead of telling yeah, we're not dealing with this. You want to throw snowballs even at the bench? How's that not a delay of game, something warning, player safety? Bro, they're throwing ice at players. What are we doing?
We've seen it in other sports And I'm sure we've seen it in football where the announcer comes on, gives a warning, and if it happens again, they penalize.
Literally, the Bills when they played the Dolphins back that Saturday night game last year, they were throwing snowballs and they were getting 15-yard penalties because of it.
Yeah.
Again, playoff game. They don't want to put even a bro like. Again, I'm not saying look for every flag just to help the Steelers. You're throwing it as the play's happening. Like the play's live. You're throwing the ball to Pickens for a touchdown, and they throw a snowball at it. Like, dude, what? Like, what? Imagine they had like great accuracy, and they hit the football or hit Pickens. What do you give them a touchdown?
Ice ball and it just propels the other way?
Dude, I low key wish it happens.
On the air, wild.
PI something like that would be
kind of like
that's like, what are you calling that? Like you imagine like the ball hits, it's in his hands and he drills Pickens in the noggin with the snowball. Like do you give him a touchdown? Like what do you do on that?
There was a game back in 2021. I remember it because I actually did the game. It was the Jaguars and the Cardinals, and I think the Jaguars punted the ball to the Cardinals, and a ref threw the flag, and the flag hit the ball to completely putting the ball 15 yards ahead of where it was supposed to be. Because it was almost about to go into the receiver's hands. He throws the flag, and the flag somehow had enough force to just propel the football in just a completely different direction.
Toss.
I know,
what happened? They just said, "Oh."
I don't even think it was reviewed or anything. I don't think they redid the kick, to be honest.
So it hits the jumbotron re-kick. Flag hits ball. Live.
I think it was just so fast too. I mean, the play would be reviewable, so I guess they would have to see that if it was the other team, and they'd be like, "Okay, hey, we got to re-kick the ball here." One of those random anomalies.
Yeah, wild. Great weekend though, I think.
Yeah, let's talk about here too. Buy, sell, and hold following super wild card weekend. Buy Cowboys tears, dusting off those VHS tapes.
Thank you.
Party like it's 1996.
Thank you for using my joke, Will.
That's all, Jake.
That was pretty fun that night. Telling all the Cowboys fans to dust their VHSs off so they can watch it,
Bro,
title game.
By halftime, that bar got real quiet.
That got real quiet. You couldn't hear yourself think pregame.
Yeah, that's a fact. I would be buying into Detroit, man, because I really think this energy is unparalleled. And I mean, if you're a real a genuine sports fan, just a fan of sports in general, that energy, momentum, just that stuff can carry a team a long way more than talent can sometimes. So I'm all there for Detroit right now, and I'm 100% bought in on Detroit. And I think in a way they could be unstoppable if it just continues. Who knows? They put up a good game. I was happy with their game.
Big sad.
Yeah.
Big sad.
That was sad.
That was one of those you kind of knew.
I knew it was happening.
He's crying. I'm like, yeah, bro, this is it. This is crazy.
Oh, I knew. We all knew it was coming halfway through the season, or really the Arizona game. People were like, guys, you do realize you just did that and possibly Brandon Graham's, Fletcher Cox, and Kelsey's last home game, right?
Brandon Graham has actually come out and said he wants to play another year, especially for the Eagles. If
he said he'd like to. That means it's going to be if his body does it recovers in the off season. He's got a contract, I think.
Go blue. Yeah, for me, I gotta buy Jordan Love. Guy's taking a lot of shit. So for him to ball out like he did, dude, it's so crazy watching him this season. A lot of those throws, man. He looks like Aaron Rodgers, man. He's bouncing off his back foot and slinging it. So
stupid tight window passes too that you only see Rodgers doing. You're just like, hold up, wait a minute.
So yeah, shout out Jordan Love. Do I think they do it again this weekend? I don't. I think that runs out. They're playing a legit team this time around. But again, shout out. He's had a lot of pressure this season, a lot of haters. So, gotta shout out Jordan Love. I was gonna say the Lions, but I'm not gonna keep riding it. I'm excited for Detroit. Said my piece earlier. So yeah, Jordan Love for picking up.
Yeah, bro. Good for Love.
I'm gonna buy into Senior CJ Stroud as one of the next ones, because that dude on that defense did that. On that defense, just absolutely put him in a grave.
Do you want to hear one of the greatest stats you'll ever hear? So the Browns' total defense at home is first in the league.
Yeah.
There's no better defense. On the road, they are 32nd.
What?
Yeah.
True story. That's true. This season.
That is one of the wildest stats I saw from.
But it also
on,
just proves,
Twitter.
man, defense. Like it comes down to you got to put up points. Like your defense can only take you so far. Like it's an offensive league, man. Like it's just what it is.
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, it's unfathomable. There is 0 sense.
Yeah, hey, Miles Garrett. I mean, hey,
There's got to be like a
hope.
thing there, then like a home. There's something about the home field, like the surface itself or something.
Yeah. They're the only ones that figured out the spikes for that field.
Yeah,
I don't know.
there's got to be something.
It
there.
is wild.
Man.
Dak. I am selling Dak's playoff performance, man.
I'm going to sell off on the Cowboys and their chances of having their Super Bowl wins on DVD.
we'll recycle it right back in the other direction.
You can convert them. I told the one guy, there's a converter. Just get them done.
Hilarious for that because they're never going to be able to appreciate one on DVD, but just VHS. That's hilarious.
No one's texted about a Cowboy Super Bowl win on iPhone unless they play Madden. A BlackBerry, a flip phone. Well, were flip phones really a thing in the mid 90s? I would have to think. Well, you got those Nokia brick phones that can kill a guy, but they will take no damage whatsoever.
What year did the Razor come out? Like 2001, 2002?
Thank you.
Oh my God, I'm gonna look this up. Let's see. Top cell phones.
For me, I'm going to
1997.
sell off. I am selling off on the Bills fan base.
They've always been frauds. I'm just gonna let you know that.
Yeah, there's definitely never been a.
I've loved the Buffalo fans, like the passion, like going out in the snowstorms and stuff like they do, and going through tables, even though I think they're idiots for that. But like, dude, throwing snowballs at players and at the bench, you guys could piss off for that. And I can't wait for you to get yours next week, Buffalo. I can't wait when the NFL has to decide, look at each other, the Spider-Man meme, pointing at each other. Holy shit, it's Josh Allen and Mahomes. Who do we go for this week? And you know who they're going for, Buffalo fans. You know where they're going with that. So,
I actually lied.
Shame on you.
There's actually such thing as a pager. So someone definitely paged another person about a Cowboy Super Bowl. But, I mean, not to add insult to injury, but, like, I'm just adding to the wound here.
You sure are, Will.
I love that.
Hold. I got no holds.
I'm holding on. What was it? What did I have? Crap. I think it was the Bills that I was holding on to because they look dead in the water at whatever week 12 that was.
Yeah.
And have rifled back and just put an absolute showing in the playoffs so far. We'll see what comes when, the elite whiner comes to town.
You do not have to take shots. You know what? I'm going to take a shot. I'm holding on to Baker Mayfield. I'm holding on to Baker Mayfield. He's shoving up Philly's ass. I'm holding on to Baker Mayfield. How about that?
What about I have to hold on to Tony Romo. I don't know who he's going to shove down our throats more.
Yo, that's another one. That's a low blow.
I don't know, Jim. Here we go. I don't know what's going to happen here.
Oh, God. I hate Tony Romo. Frank the Tank was right. Frank was right. I couldn't stand Tony Romo 5 minutes into this game. I wanted to blow my TV off.
I don't know, Jim. Here we go.
America is so effed next week when he has to decide. He's gonna be like ooh and on, like he might not talk. You might have to have like a live camera on him as he's like sitting there like
he might pull a Charles Davis
losing in his pants next week with with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. We might need a live camera on him to watch what he's doing up there.
Gene, I don't know what's happening.
Make sure he's actually wearing pants.
Yes. Oh my God. Tony Romo, freaking loser. Frank was right. Tank was right. Frank was right. Romo's awful. Can't deal with him. I got beef to pick with Will and Jake now. Wow, you guys are crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy wild.
I don't know, Jim. I think we should just go into the divisional round preview. Here we go, Jim.
So you're gonna say how it's a bracket now?
Yeah,
yes, we are now converting this into a bracket. So instead of adding to our totals, so Dom could stay in last place for the regular season. Colton could stay atop of first, and then Jake's in second, and I'm in third. We are doing it how March Madness is. If you've ever filled out a bracket like that, where the first round of 64 is 1 point, and as you advance, it,
whoa! I didn't know we were doing this bracket style, boys. This is unfair. I think I'm winless. This is awful.
You got one.
From this point on, it's locked bracket because of the
okay. All right. I was gonna say, guys, that's like some like Homer picks. Like I'm quickly gonna pick the Steelers.
So,
like, Homer, relax.
So Colton last week had 1, Jake and Dom had 3, and I had 5 correct after the wild card weekend. Go Pack, go! Here we go. Here we go. Just got to get that in there. But yes, let's get into these games here. So 4:30 on Saturday on I believe it's ESPN, a Buck and Aikman game here. CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans returned to the scene of the crime that happened week 1, where the Ravens won 25-9 in Baltimore. So we get a nice rematch to open up this divisional round playoff game. Who art thou going with?
I have to go with Baltimore. I think they do it, but I would not be upset if I end up losing this game. Go CJ Stroud. I am definitely taking the Ravens.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for him to do it against one of the top defenses 2 weeks in a row, stat not included. Baltimore is just it's looking like San Fran, Baltimore. Like
I'm telling you, while we're on the Ravens.
Well, the last time
the Ravens seasons, guys.
The last time the last time an AFC South team went into Baltimore, Baltimore was the 1 seed. I mean, let's not forget the Titans absolutely throttled the Ravens.
I was on the flight home when that happened, and it was absolutely great. Me and my dad's like 10 rows up. I'm like, let's go! Late at night flight, everyone's like not talking, and I'm over here enjoying myself as the Titans are just storming all over Baltimore. It's fantastic. But seriously, though, this is not the Ravens season, guys. Yeah. When is it going to be the Ravens season? Seriously.
No, you're not wrong, and that's the thing.
Next year, when we talk about how good their defense is and they absolutely suck, that's what's going to happen.
I'm going to go Baltimore. It is sad that this is who CJ Stroud runs into next, because this Houston team's fun to watch. It's fun to see how far it could go. But, man, I mean, everything they've done so far, running into Baltimore here, this is a tough one. This is definitely a tough one. Now, granted, Baltimore with rest, they've had time off. Houston off a good win. I mean, anything's possible. It's the playoffs, but
it's kind of where I'm at, man.
3 straight Saturday games for Houston, man.
Texans are playing with house money. Texans are playing with house money, where the Ravens pressure's all on Lamar. No playoff success. Another MVP coming, and he gets bounced with an MVP in the divisional round, and he's had 3 weeks off. This is very interesting for Baltimore, man.
But 3 weeks off is sketchy. 3 weeks off is not, that's a little bit sketchy. And like you said, Lamar's history in the playoffs ain't that crazy. But again, Lamar's history, period, this year he's shown his most solid play, period. And he's shut a lot of people up, including me. So out of left field, but hey.
I know we're going to go into it later.
I'm not sure what this entails.
What the we're going to do with first overall pick?
Oh.
At first, I read it as 10A, and I'm like, 10A. Yeah, but yeah.
No, that. let me scare the stadium really quick.
That's funny. Yeah, gosh. I think they seem like they're extra committed to field still, especially with Eberflus still there.
Yeah, they don't look like they're going to just change things.
So, unfortunately, I think they should change things.
I think they're going to finesse another team and get the first overall pick next year.
Yeah.
Don't be scared if they take. You don't want Caleb. You don't want him. That.
See, now here's the thing. I do think 100%, and I said this past week too. I think 100%. If the Bears don't take Caleb, it just seems like what the Commanders with the new ownership and that Golden State advisor dude coming in and stuff, it just feels like they would absolutely 100% take Caleb because of the splash and the new ownership stuff.
Jeff, when he's played a good defense, he's looked bad. The way it ended there and the way they looked so good without him. That's why I'm not a fan of Caleb Williams. And that's why it's everyone.
He hasn't won a thing. Like
It's tough.
And they're coming in and they talk of like, I want ownership. What are we doing? Like, no, hell no. He needs to get a reality check. What he needs to be one of those guys that like slides kind of in the draft kind of thing and like get a reality check. He's been elite, yeah. Besides the Notre Dame game, he hasn't played good against Utah either. He plays a good defense.
Every big game he's ever played, it's just terrible. Like
there's no business that USC should not have been in the college football playoff any year that he's been there. No.
Say the same.
I know their defense is Swiss cheese, but he is that talented offensively. No. I'm telling you, he's going to be a Trevor Lawrence, dude. He's going to be a Trevor Lawrence. No way. No, thank you.
I'm not surprised if it actually is.
I wouldn't be surprised either. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's like still a long line of other like prima donna things.
Yeah.
So it was believable.
Yes. It's so believable because of the entitlement, that Lamborghini or whatever he has on campus that he has. And
You mean that like that penthouse that he has on top of like LA and stuff, and he's just playing Uno?
He's like
Monopoly card or whatever it was called.
Manziel.
Yeah. There was a standard set for him with this entitlement thing, and that's why that comment is so believable. And that's
Well, you seeing it now with the Bear? Like even a few days, like the last few months, it's been like, oh, I'm not going to the Bears.
Yeah,
I'm too good to go to Chicago. I'm not declaring until I'm declaring to the Bears. I don't want to play in Chicago. Hell no. What are we doing? That's crazy talking like that.
I think he would go to Washington though, because I think that team would hand him the keys to everything, and that's I really think he would end up going to Washington for that stuff. We have some comments.
Here we go. JT.
Damn, those Eagles and Cowboys. Yeah. Also, with all of our teams now, officially all of our teams suck. So that's where we're at. Shout out also to my mom, because I don't know if any of you guys would have seen on Instagram when we posted.
I see it.
She had a better record than all four of us, by the way, on the year, because she does picks with people she works with and stuff. She had a better record than all four of us. So shout out to her. Good for her. Better than us, period.
So Green Bay, San Fran.
Yeah, right. Let's maybe get a.
Let's get into this here. Green Bay, San Fran. The last time these teams played in the playoffs, I mean, the Niners have absolutely throttled them. I can't even tell the last time the Packers beat the Niners in the playoffs here.
It's true.
Definitely before I was born. Not anywhere close to me. But yes, who do we have here? The first 7 seed to advance in the playoffs against the number 1 overall seed in the NFC.
Yeah, it's the Jordan Love train ends.
Yeah, it was all fun. It was all
clean
fun.
sweep of
It was fun to mock Dallas for a little bit, but back to reality. You're playing a real team.
It's really the same story as what we're literally just saying about Stroud, where it's like, oh, this was cool. The momentum was sick. Great games. Good job. You run into a brick wall, bro. I mean, that's just how it's going. Running into Baltimore, running into San Fran.
Game. The fact that this is Saturday night, like I thought they should switch this and the Ravens.
Well, I mean, I would have much rather have this as a night game, because this is a good game to close out the weekend. I mean, if the Bills and the Steelers game didn't get, moved around, this game probably could have been a Sunday. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Yeah, we're all going San Fran.
Yeah, a clean sweep of the Fran.
Yeah, but either way, Buffalo, never mind.
I mean, not saying we're all not saying that they can't do it, but, we're going to take.
I just hope it's a game. I don't think it's going to be a game. I think they're going to make his life hell.
Yeah. So is Elijah Mitchell going to have the Raheem Mostert game where he just has 4 rushing touchdowns and like 200 yards? They're just going to be like, you know what? We're just going to, ease McCaffrey back in here with that calf injury. We'll see you in the title game.
If they can, hey,
I don't know. The Packers came and stopped the Niners in the playoffs, though. It's incredible. You think of that, like, what, 2013? Well, Kaepernick's first year starting, he holds the playoff record with 189 rush yards.
I believe
the longest playoff run.
This was the record of 0-4 in the playoffs.
For Rodgers. Yeah.
Rodgers. There you go.
Yeah, Rodgers that year. And then, he comes back from the collarbone, gets throttled again. 2019 NFC Championship game. And then good as Gould, Robbie Gould, sinking that kick. Again, a Saturday night game. Yeah. We're going to go with that. Honestly, this might be one of the funner games of the weekend, I think. Tampa Bay at Detroit. Two stories. Can the Buccaneers, move on from Arians and Brady? Can Bulls and Baker make some magic? And then the Lions, who have not won a playoff game, in 30 years, win a playoff game. They could go in and, maybe shock people and go to the NFC Championship game for the first time since probably Barry Sanders was playing. Definitely.
The monkey's off their back, gentlemen. The pressure of that one game didn't get to them against the Rams, and I think they're going to do some serious damage for Tampa.
Yeah, well, last time they had a playoff win, Barry Sanders was in his 4th year in the league. Barry Sanders was at this past game, so that was cool. Dude got to see their last playoff win, however many years ago, 31 years ago.
He played in the last playoff game.
Yeah, and he played in it, and now he's here on the field. Yeah, I mean, that's so cool. Yeah, I got to go Detroit. The energy, like I was saying before, the energy is going to carry them, man. It's so sick. It's immaculate, their energy and the fans and just everything going on there. It's so awesome. They're rallying so hard. So go Lions, man. Tampa Bay's a good team, but this is the perfect matchup for the Lions, I feel like, to just continue the train.
The last time these two teams played, I believe it was during the COVID year, and then Brady and Gronk throttled the Lions in Detroit, of all places. Antonio Brown, too, was a part of that team. Last from the past. So clean sweep with Detroit there.
Yes.
Yes.
And the 6:30 game, the I don't know, Jim, playoff game with Tony Romo, the Chiefs and the Bills. Are we going to see overtime? Or are the Chiefs going to, just destroy them in overtime with the playoff rules? Just say, you know what?
I was emotional after the game. I was emotional after the Steelers game, and I was waiting for the Bills to get it shoved up the rear end this week. But yeah, I'm pulling for Buffalo. I just, God Almighty, I hope they can do it. Can they get the big boy win? Can Buffalo put the pants on and get the big boy win? Gosh, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna pick Kansas City to win this game, man. I can't believe I'm doing it. I'm pulling for the Bills. I think the Chiefs get it done though. Their defense is great. Mahomes is Mahomes. I think the Chiefs win. I'm pulling for Buffalo, but I think Kansas City wins.
On the road, too. This is in Buffalo.
I do not care. I don't understand why people think this is a big deal that they're not playing in Arrowhead. I do not care. They're going to win in Buffalo. If the Steelers don't turn the ball over twice, they probably beat the Bills. So Mahomes ain't turning the ball over like Rudolph did. Sorry, Chiefs win in Buffalo.
Josh Allen has only won playoff games at home. He's never won on the road. So I'm going to think he continues that streak again, and he gets his 5th win.
I mean, technically, same as Mahomes, right? Because this is his first road game.
Yeah.
Mahomes
is 2-1 on the road, if you want to count.
He's got some Lombardis.
That's true.
He's got Lombardis.
He's got some rings.
Josh Allen does not.
Also trust Andy way more than Sean McDermott.
That's awesome.
And Josh Allen didn't turn the ball over, which means tick, tick, tick. He's going to turn the ball over.
I'm actually going to split this and go Buffalo, though. I'm going to do it.
My man.
I mean, this could literally be
pots and pans.
The same as before. We could go into overtime again and see what happens. But, yeah, I'm going to say screw it and just do that. I'm going to do that.
I mean, the last time a team played, another team, they went to overtime in the playoffs, the infamous Saints game when they played the Rams. They got a pass interference to become a reviewable play. My game I mentioned last week for memorable wildcard games, Kyle Rudolph definitely shoved off of whoever that defender was there. And they reviewed it and they deemed it not PI. I think this blows up in, I don't want to say it blows up in Buffalo's face, but I'm still picking Buffalo, though. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, though.
Mahomes fake slide, they're going to applaud it as the greatest thing ever.
I don't know, Jim. I might have to quote that the rest of my time. I don't know. And that, ladies and gentlemen, rounds out our show. Follow us on all the stuff down below. YouTube for the Fan Network, TikTok for the Fan Network, Twitter and/or X for the Fan _, Instagram for the Fan Football. You can listen to us next day on your local podcasting platform like Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever the hell you want to find us. I mean, listen, I think Amazon has a thing too, Amazon Podcast or something like that. I don't know. There's a new platform every day that just steals content.
It's a fact.
It feels like. But yeah, any final thoughts? Anything going into the weekend of games here?
No, man. I just hope we get. I mean, we had good officiating the first day or two last weekend. That Monday night or the Monday games were a little bit sketchy.
Joke.
But if we could get some
player safety doesn't matter.
Keep some good officiating. Keep the energy high. Keep Detroit.
Take out Miles Jackson on the field because I don't know what the hell he was doing on that touchdown that was thrown by the Bills. He just tackles Diggs out of nowhere. Like, dude, what the hell is going on there? You have a problem with the snowballs, but your guy just blatantly just tries to tackle like people that aren't even close to the football.
He was a plumber earlier this year.
What is this? NFL arcade? You just start tackling people?
For me, I just hope this Detroit ride continues. God, it's cool. It's cool seeing it, man. So for me, good luck, Buffalo, and I'm so glad my team's out of it, so I can enjoy football and not stress the rest of the way. So great, I get to enjoy football the rest of the way, man.
The Eagles coaching staff can't hurt me anymore.
Yeah, I can't deal with Tomlin
until Sirianni says, "Oh, everyone's coming back." Patricia's the full-time play caller for the Eagles.
Yes, go Birds, go Birds.
As always, I'm Will. That's Dom. That's Jake, and that's Colton. And we are For the Fan. Tune in next Wednesday. Hopefully it's Wednesday. Who knows? I don't even know what day it is today. This show being on a Tuesday is throwing me off. So everyone enjoy your day. And yeah,